guys, how are you doing, how are you feeling? Welcome to the first episode of wedding planning for a budget-friendly wedding with Mrs. Davidson to be. I am so excited to get this journey started with you guys, as well as with Gord, obviously my fiance. But some of the stuff, you know, I love planning. I love being organized, love having all my notes. So part of the planning process slash touring process slash whatever it brings will be myself, and part of it will be also with Gord, and you will be able to see that in coming videos. I'm gonna be as transparent as possible. I don't want to be too specific with numbers, but if you need more information, you can always reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to share my experience planning a debt-free wedding. But don't get it twisted, girl. It's gonna be booshy. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be shiny, blingity blank. It's just not gonna cost me an arm and a leg. We gotta be smart in 2023 and in 2024. That's when I'm getting married. But don't give these people your money. At least not all of it. It is one night, and Gord and I are on the same page that we're not gonna be spending more than is realistic on this. So we're gonna be doing our research, and part of that, we're gonna bring you along with us in order to find our dream wedding venue and all of our vendors that we're gonna have at our dream price. On today's wedding planning episode, I am speaking to a wedding planner. Preliminary process, research, Q&A kind of vibes, really getting a lay of the land. I was engaged for only 1 month at this point, just getting started, just wanted to know a little bit more. And I think some of this information is going to be really useful if you are also planning a budget-friendly wedding. I unfortunately wasn't able to capture all of it as I either ran out of space or my camera died. Something always happens, but that's okay because I have my notes. So I'll be sharing with you the rest of my notes from my conversation with the wedding planner in order to give you as much insight and information as possible, because as a first time and only time wedding planner myself, I would want to know this information too if I was just getting started. So let's get on with our conversation with the wedding planner. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. It's a completely open book. You can ask me as many questions as you would like regarding timeline, budget, and contracts.
Okay, sounds good.
I own, so it's been around for 7 years. Previous to that, I was a catering sales corporate manager in downtown Toronto. So my specialties were arranged marriages that range from $400,000 to $500,000 weddings. So when is your wedding? Tell me about your wedding.
So we're planning for 2024, very early stages, just got engaged a month ago. I'm very excited for the opportunity of like a one-stop shop. It would be nice to have a venue that includes things, but I'm also open to a venue that includes little to nothing, but just hiring a team that's going to help me with, you know, flowers, entertainment, video, photos, like just putting it all together in a venue.
How many people are you thinking of having for your guest count?
Right now it's over 100, so it's about 110 or 120. That number could change drastically with long distance family that may or may not be able to come.
Okay, so have you looked at any venues?
So we're interested in definitely like in the area. I was expecting the Cambridge Mill to be at the expo, but they weren't there. So I'm wanting to get more info from them if possible. However, my fiance was very interested in the KPL.
Okay.
Because he liked the idea of it being a library and the funds going to the community. Oh, he's just very big heart. He was wanting to hopefully at some point soon take a look there. Other than that, we haven't taken a look. We've just kind of done research, and you know, we went to the expo and kind of learned about different venues there.
Based on how many people you're looking for, like a place to like kind of look at might like intrigue you is Concordia Club.
Okay.
Like that to kind of look at for budget. That could be one. You're going to save on budget. Will be places that you could bring in your own food and alcohol. Like that's where you save.
Yeah.
So for instance, like Victoria Park Pavilion, you can bring in all of your own things.
Okay.
It's much more cost efficient that way too. So then when you're doing an open bar, you're saving a lot on costs. But definitely looking at different venues and kind of seeing like what appeals to the both of you is definitely something to consider. Another one to kind of ponder about would be Grace Silo. Grace Silo will be a little bit more in price point, but it might help you in a way, like if you kind of budget it accordingly. friendly. They have food included, so then that's something just to kind of consider when it comes to it. Delta Waterloo is gorgeous. You don't need to do much with it. Price point wise is just a little bit more. Bingamons, you could always try Bingamons.
Right.
That is nice too. Like price point, they'll work with your budget and such. So that works. KPL is perfect, and that's definitely like something I would suggest. And then bringing in a caterer, hands down. When you're looking at caterers, like a really good one is Platters Catering.
Okay.
They're very good. Their food is delicious and they're very good. Or Crazy Canuck. Those are the two that are budget friendly, but the quality is really good. And that works for that. Those would be kind of the two I would suggest. When it comes to like food and catering and such like that, usually it's 60% of your budget.
And with booze, we did consider that as well, like either open bar or just an amount of booze that we buy, take it over and just hire bartenders, I guess, because you have to do that for like licensing purposes.
Some caterers will just do food for you, like they'll do the servers, they'll do all that kind of stuff. Some caterers will let you get your own, like you purchase the alcohol and then they provide a bartender for it.
Oh, okay, awesome.
The alcohol is a lot of money, but it will save you if you're just getting it yourself as opposed to anything else. I always say like open bar is a better idea, or like a toonie bar, just not a closed bar when it comes to it. From experience, it's not as fun for people because then they look and they're like, oh, the drink's $9 or $7 or whatever it is, and they don't stay as much as you want them to stay. When you're bringing your own alcohol in, you're saving a bundle. If you go to a venue that offers the alcohol and offers everything together with their bartenders, they're usually about double the price. Hair and makeup professionally done for a bride, it varies. It can be from $100, it can be up to $200 for the bride. For bridesmaids, it's between $85 and $125. Hair, same deal. It's about almost the same. So if you have friends that can do it for you, that will save on budget. But just making sure, like for yourself, you want to look back in 20 years, you want to like your photos.
Yeah.
Like you want to enjoy them. You want to be like, oh my gosh, I really like my photos. So just kind of, I always say invest your money in like a makeup and hairstylist who's professional. Like your makeup will stay on, your hair will look good. Photographer, an average price point for a photographer is between, like a good one is between like 15,000 and 25, like 2,500. So that's like a good one. So that's kind of budgeting. So there you have it. That's a snippet from my conversation with the wedding planner. Such a good experience. So helpful. So lovely. I loved talking to her. I definitely recommend, if you'd like more details, again, reach out to me, because out of this I've already learned there is such thing as a positive and negative experience with a wedding vendor. You will see why I'm saying that in the next wedding planning episode. So some of the highlights from my conversation with the wedding planner, tips and tricks into saving your moolah. Don't pay for transportation. You got enough people in your life probably that have cars, nice ones, big ones. My mom has a RAV4. I would be more than happy to be a bride in a RAV4. Like, I am okay. I don't need a limo. I don't need a party bus. I don't need all of that. So transportation, number one, no go. Don't do it. Save your money. Save your coins. For videography and photography, we're looking at around $1,500 to $2,500 each. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, because that is a non-negotiable for me. I am going for top-notch quality or nothing. Like, it's all or nothing for me there, because I do want to capture my wedding. This is my one wedding, my one night to profess my undying love and say my vows for the love of my life. I want that shit documented for the history of time. For a DJ, she did mention that it's at least $1,500, which, if you can't already tell, this stuff adds up. So you need to budget so well in order for this to work, especially if you want to be strict with your budget and make it work. I really need to do my research and make sure everything fits accordingly based on how much room I have in the budget. I thought it was really sweet that she mentioned a bridal boutique as well. I think it's online. I'm not sure if it's a shop, but it's called Azazi. I'll put it here on screen just in case. Azazi Attire is apparently budget friendly. It is for bridal gowns. However, your girl don't gotta worry about that. Mama's taking me to New York. Oh! Okay, I'm done. You gotta wait for that one. You gotta wait for that one. Wedding dress?
make sure you can sit. Another wedding dress suggestion, we've got Opportunity Bridal, who offer 90% off wedding dresses. Crazy, unheard of. If for whatever reason New York don't go well, you know where your girl's gonna be. You know where I'm gonna be. For menswear, she did suggest RW Co. or RWCO, I'm not sure how you say it, or Stars Boxing Day sales. Watch out for those. Those are really good for saving some money on your grooms and groomsmen attire. She also mentioned for grooms and groomsmen that Collins have a rent-to-own opportunity for the fellas between $300 to $400. Not bad, not too shabby. And she did say to make sure they rent everything from shoes, socks, shirt, pants, jacket, in order to make sure everything fits and they've got everything they need and they're not on wedding day being like, I don't got shoes, I don't got socks, what am I gonna wear? And it throws off the whole thing. I don't know how picky Gord's gonna be about that. That's gonna be his department, but their tip is there. It is available to him for use. Our Efficient is going to cost us $400 to $500. We will again see how that goes because Gordon and I are between a Catholic wedding and a civil wedding. I don't know, we'll see. But quick tip from me, and not the wedding planner this time. Upon further research, I did find out that it is cheaper to get married in a wedding because priests will do it for a little bit cheaper, if not for nothing. If they know you, if you're practicing, which you're not, but at least they'll do it for cheaper, so that's a consideration. Keep that in mind. Cheaper. Easier? Not necessarily. You might have to go to some kind of courses, some kind of classes. We don't really know. We have to look a little bit further into that if we got to do like marriage courses or something because it's the church. But stay tuned. Day of coordinator. Now this one was a shocker to me. I was not expecting this, and it's again gonna come down to how I'm doing, how I'm feeling closer to the day of my wedding. I know I can't leave this to last minute because coordinators get booked up, but a coordinator is around $2,500 start for a day of coordinator. So if you think you're a great planner and you've got a lot of help from family, I suggest you skip this part because it's pricey. It's not cheap. At least according to this wedding planner. Who, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, I was able to talk to because I won it as a prize, a 1-hour consultation at the wedding expo that I won. And I got really, really lucky because I have so much information that's going to be so useful to me during this wedding planning process, and you guys are going to continue to be able to see that. But keeping in mind that this price tag does include 1 month prior consultation, rehearsal, day of 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. vibes, and if you want them for longer than that, they're $300 an hour. So again, spreadsheet. So that's a consideration for budget. If you can go without, go without. But if you absolutely, positively, 100% hands down need it, make sure you're budgeting that into your budget. Flower bouquet price tag for the bridal party starts at $65. Bride bouquet starts at $190 for the bride and can range up to and including $250. Wedding cake, she mentioned to budget for $500. I don't know how big this wedding cake is and how many people it feeds, but most people don't eat cake anyway, so I don't know if I'm gonna get a whole top tier thing, you know, with the little stairs and the fountains and that's what I dreamed of when I was little. Nowadays, I'm like, who eats cake? Ooh, not me. So we'll see about that. I'm obviously still gonna have a cake, but I don't think it's gonna be this grand old friggin' thing that has to be like, no. We wanna focus more on the party than on the like frivolous things. Of course, we're gonna make it look pretty, we're gonna make it enjoyable, we're making it yummy and delicious, but again, we are not going overboard for a $500 cake. That's half $1,000. Like, what? I got connections. I know some bakers. For bar, she did say that was the biggest thing you could save on, and I think that was included in the conversation in the clip that you guys just saw. But again, she did also mention $45 an hour for a bartender because you still need someone to serve the alcohol. So although you can budget very easily yourself by bringing in your own alcohol, determining what alcohol you want to bring and how much of it, don't forget to factor in paying the bartenders. For vendors in general, talk to them, get to know them, check their reviews. She did mention that every vendor is going to have a bad review. That doesn't mean that the vendor is bad. Some people just have hectic weddings and then they just feel that way, and you know, bridezillas are a thing. I've heard of groomzillas too though. They exist. When doing research, she did suggest to at least research 3 different vendors, 3 different venues, 3 different DJs, 3 different everything, in order to be able to compare prices, details, likability, because we got to feel out the vibe and see if it passes the vibe check. So if, you know, someone has amazing photography, amazing videography work at appearance level, but the vibe is off, I'm less likely to hire the person. So making sure you have options and you do your research properly in order to almost ensure or make it less likely for you to be disappointed by one of the vendors and end up regretting some of the people you hire at your wedding. I have to remember, and Gord has to remember, to always check the contracts, always check the fine print. I want to be very, very precise in the way I do my research, the way I speak to these salespeople, because at the end of the day, these are salespersons that are going to be trying to stretch your budget. I'm going to try to stay away from telling them my budget, she said. Like, that's a great idea, because you don't want people to take advantage of that. There are also DIY aspects of the wedding that I would like to incorporate, because I think it'd be really fun for me and my girls to set up some, you know, centerpieces on the tables, little small things like that. I'm gonna do like backdrop, hire actual professional for some decor. But I think if you can set some of the stuff up and have your family and friends help you, look up some buy and sell wedding groups to get a sale, you can really get more for your buck at your wedding. And that's all the information I have today for you guys from the wedding planner, as well as my own research that I've done. I cannot wait to show you guys the rest of this journey. I am so excited. This is gonna be a very leisurely wedding planning experience. We got engaged in October 2022 and we are getting married in 2024. So we're gonna have a long, smooth sailing wedding planning, knock on wood. Based on everything I heard, I know it's easier said than done, but we're gonna do our best to keep it enjoyable, keep it fun, and keep it relaxed. No pressure, no rush, no stress, or little stress. As little amount of stress as we can, because obviously it's gonna be stressful. It's our wedding day. It's a huge expense. It's, you know, we're gonna probably see the most amount of people in one room that we know closely. I said it before and I'll say it again, the marriage of 2 people is also the marriage of their people together. So I cannot wait to party with my favorite people and marry my best friend, the absolute love of my life, Gordon Davidson, and become Mrs. Davidson. Ah! Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it's free. And I will see you guys next time.